Hello everyone and welcome back to Two Bros Game Night. I am your host, Older Bro.
I'm your other host, Younger Bro.
And today we continue in Spy Family, where there's a family meeting underway.
Yep, and if you guys didn't watch one of the last streams, we told you what happened. Yeah, the audio for this episode and the finale got fucked up.
Yeah, so we're not quite sure how that's possible, but it did. So here we are.
So this is what happened, guys. So we had to record this episode and the finale after one of the last GTA streams.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, when we switched from streaming to recording, our audio fucked off.
Yeah. We're not sure if it got turned off or if it just
shut itself off.
Yeah, it shut itself off somehow. We have no clue. In fact, we're not 100% sure we're recording audio right now, but we're pretty certain.
Because we can see it on OBS right
now.
So, is this my first time playing Mappy?
No.
No.
This is the last time playing Mappy, if anything. But
yeah, I can clearly see I've been doing this for a bit.
Yeah. No, yeah, we've played Mappy before this. Yeah, Mappy, I still don't like this game.
Like, it's probably better coded than the original.
I'm not even sure. The original might actually be better coded than this.
Like, I do remember playing this on the Namco Museum.
Yeah.
But God, it was a long time ago. Like, my favorite games on the Namco Museum were Dig Dug and Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Those are the two I remember playing the most. And I still own it. I still own the DS version of the Namco Museum. I need to get a console version. Thinking about getting it.
Yeah. But yeah, I've talked to Finn and friends about this actually, because right now I'm trying to go through video game genres.
Yep.
And I've talked about I'm not looking at some of the really old games because I'm like, they predate the concept of genres in a way that's going to cause a lot of like false positives, and it's going to create a lot of situations where I'm not like, I'll try to make them fit in ways that don't really work.
I'd either call this like a side-scroller survival game.
Yeah, but see, it's like, but that's the problem is when you use the term survival game, that has a meaning. And that meaning is based on all the other games that have been called survival games. And it's like, if we look at this game, this plays nothing like any survival game we've ever seen before. And like, so it's like, you could apply that term, but it just doesn't feel right. Like, if I look at something like Fire Emblem, I can say, oh, well, obviously this is an RPG because it plays like Final Fantasy. It plays like the Tales of franchise. It plays like all these other things that are RPGs.
Yeah,
so I can obviously
RPG.
see, but nothing plays like this. The closest thing that plays like this would be stuff like Pac-Man. That's why it gets just called an arcade game, because it's like, arcade games aren't designed to be like other games. They're just designed to be arcade games.
I remember that moment. I forgot there was a ceiling right there, and I hit my head on it.
This, I think, was either the first or second time you'd done the hard Mappy, where it has hidden ceilings, because it's so hard to tell that's a ceiling.
It really is.
So, yeah.
And then I adapted to it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can see them, but it's like, it's not...
But you're so focused on running away that you don't realize it.
Yeah. Now, okay, actually, talking about this, talking about video game genres for a second. So me and Finn yesterday were just talking about RPGs, and one of the games listed in RPG is Xenoverse 2.
Sure, for maybe the DLC.
Well, and what I was saying was, I think why they call it an RPG is because it has...
Oh yeah, the battle
stats.
tournament too.
Well, but I'm saying I think it's because you level up from doing battles, you get experience, and those increase your stats. But my understanding from you is the stats don't really matter that much. Like,
They
yes,
increase your health and they increase your damage, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't strictly look at it in the same way as I would an RPG stat system, where it's like...
Now, if you're playing the Battle Coliseum, that is a turn-based strategy game with the figurines. I don't know if you remember that.
Vaguely.
But that's in the game, even though that's just a part of the game.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I would say it's very I would not call it an RPG, even though it has RPG stuff in it. It's like, it just feels wrong to do so.
No, Xenoverse is it's a brawler. It's a fighting game.
Yeah, it's a fighting game. As I say, it's not a brawler, because brawler is like River City Girls. But yeah, I agree with you. It just feels wrong to try to say, oh yes, I should compare this to Final Fantasy.
No.
It's like that. No. But yeah, no, one of the things I don't think that we did very well in this game is I don't think we utilized the giant peanut very well. Mostly because we're too scared of dying to it.
Well, like, I got it a few times, but you just have to get it at the right moment.
Yeah, like right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's very much an interesting, weird game, and yeah. You got like 3 people there. Because yeah, it's like I've said many times, it's like you can't compare Pac-Man to anything else. Like, what the heck is like Pac-Man? What's like Pong?
Any of the games around its era.
Yeah, it's like there's
It's an arcade game.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is you don't. Yeah, exactly. It's you compare it to arcade games. It's because there was a similar thing. I was listening to a similar thing about somebody was talking about the song "The Macarena."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Look, if you look at this song, it doesn't have trends. Like, it doesn't follow any musical trend that happens. And when people talk about it, they don't talk about it like music. They talk about it in the same context as Jinko jeans and like and Pogs. They talk about it as a fad, like a toy. And it's like, so to even compare it to music is fundamentally not worthwhile. It doesn't make sense to do so. Because it doesn't have any other inspiration or anything like any other song. And it's like, you can do so. You can say, well, it's music, and it is. But there's no value in it. These are arcade games. They're not other video games. An RPG doesn't make sense for that. It's an arcade game. That's kind of its own genre.
Maybe they're retro.
Well, yes.
I hate that.
Oh yeah, the
fact that
thing that just dead ends to nothing is stupid.
Yeah, they're retro.
Well, yeah, it is a retro game, but retro just means that it's over, like, I think the official terminology is over 20, 25 years old. Like, yeah, there's PS2 games that are retro now.
Yeah.
I think PS3 games are becoming retro now. Like, so, but yeah, I agree with you. It's like, the best way to refer to them is just as an arcade game. You would compare this to Pac-Man. You would not compare this to Dead by Daylight.
No.
Or any game that's listed as a survival game. You would never compare them to that, because that's just nonsensical. So yeah, I think this does just cement that, yeah, you do kind of just have to acknowledge arcade games as a genre, even though it's not
the best way to define it.
Yeah, because genres are generally defined by how video game genres are different from other media. When you look at a TV show, you call something an action show because it has action in it. You punch things. You call something a fantasy show because it has fantasy elements. You're in a mythical world. It's a sci-fi because you're in space. It has mecha. But video games are uniquely defined as how the game plays, not the aesthetics of the game. So, a survival game means that you have to have all these bars that you're constantly refilling. You have to have health, and you have to have stamina, and you have to have stuff like that. Action games have to be you're either punching something or shooting something, and that's the gameplay. Or maybe even more specifically, that action games are about skill. It has tight timings that you have to meet. So you either have to do like specific combo inputs in very tight timing, or you have to shoot things in quick timing. I think this is why a lot of people try to put rhythm games and platforming games as action games, because it's all they
have a sequence of events.
They have a sequence of events that requires tight timing inputs to execute effectively. I don't really agree, but I understand why they do that. And it's like games like MAPPY don't fit genres that way. They're just unique ideas that came up with because video games were brand new. Ideas like genres hadn't solidified. Because the only thing I could try to compare that to is a puzzle game, but like, that doesn't work. Okay, this is where we finally start card games at home, which is basically just Tycoon from earlier, but at home.
Yeah.
So you've probably seen all this before.
And I love these games, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting game concept.
Yeah, I remember talking about, so guys, I am actually getting into card games, specifically poker. It's mainly because they have poker in Red Dead Redemption 2, and I was playing it off camera.
Yeah. And
I actually had to learn poker because it's real life poker, how poker works in real life.
Yeah, it is accurate.
So
this is not.
Yeah, I had to learn all of the hands.
Yeah, this is just normal cards. Just
this is just
high wins. Yeah. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think it takes us a while to get back into this game. Because we have to figure out how to win at it. This game is surprisingly difficult to figure out.
Yeah, but we figure it out, guys. And we never used telepathy for this because I feel like it's cheating.
Yeah, we've actually never used telepathy. Well, because also, what does it matter? Like, yeah, telepathy's there, but in most situations, I'm not actually basing my decision on what the other person has in their hand.
Yeah, I remember this. I had 3 freaking
Jacks.
Sorry, Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, this one I think we just end up failing because we don't.
I didn't win this match, but I did get Tycoon.
Yeah. Yeah. But we don't win this match because we just run out of like we just let them get too many cards in.
Yeah, this is our first time being back playing this game, so.
Yeah.
versus that we skip.
Yeah, we accidentally skipped this. Or maybe
No,
intentionally. I don't
we
remember if
intentionally
you
skipped it.
skipped it.
Yeah.
Yeah, beggar. Yours the beggar.
Remember when we had an infinite card game?
That is true.
That is why I
That-
freaking
Yeah,
skipped.
that one we intentionally skipped because it was infinite, but like, we technically don't need to skip the other ones because they will wrap up very quickly. Because yeah, I think it's only Old Maid that problem exists in. Yeah, this game is definitely an interesting. There's an interesting back and forth between trying to get rid of as many cards as quickly as possible, and also trying to prevent your opponent from playing cards. Because like you can always just win here, but you do not.
Yeah, we're really thinking about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, this guy had like 5-8 enders or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can't remember if we tried to go through the small cards first, which probably was not our best play. We probably should have started with the doubles. Yeah, 'cause now we hit this problem.
Yep. And I think Yuri wins here no matter what, because I think we go for the yeah, he had a king, so we would have won anyways. We decided we'll take Rich because that's the thing.
Yeah.
The only card I could play.
Yep, and luckily that worked. I don't know why you're waiting here for so long.
I didn't realize it was actually like I was the first turn.
Yep. Yeah. And you're lost again. Yeah, now this one we are required. I don't know why she has that face.
She always has that face for A.
Yeah. But yeah. And now after that, we're gonna have to get the
We have to get good.
S rank.
Mhm.
We are required because Tycoon requires S rank. But now is not the time for that. Now is time for skipping school. Does younger bro correctly skip school today, or does he accidentally go to school again?
Yeah, I already did it once this episode. Did I do it again?
No,
I
you're
think
good. I didn't remember either.
I was a fraction second off on
Yep.
that one.
I still wish that she kept her hands out when the dog fell over, so it could look like she actually has the gun and shot him. But it's good enough. Yeah, the game goes by so much faster when we're done
With everything.
with everything, because it's just okay. Do the skip school, do the one photo at home,
Mini
go to
games.
dinner, go to minigames. I still wish that there was a way to skip an entire day. Where you could, like, if you wake up in the morning, you could immediately go back to your bed and it just says, start next day.
Yeah, I wish... there's a lot of missed opportunities in this game.
Yeah.
I also wish you could skip to the next outing.
Yeah, if they just had one where it says, skip to next outing, get, and you got Eureka's as if you had, done all the stuff that day, that would make the game go much faster at certain points. Although, I guess that would probably kind of trivialize the whole game.
But I think that's one of the biggest problems I have with this game. It felt like it was dragging on a bit.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Otherwise, I liked most of the mini games. Like, especially this one. This one's probably one of my favorite ones.
Yep.
But yeah, the game just felt like it was dragging on. But I don't hate this game at all.
No, it's not a bad game.
By the way, guys, when we finished the game, I forgot to tell you guys how I felt about the whole game overall. And, yeah, it's a fine game. I like it. Probably would play again. I don't know if I'd 100% it again, but I'd probably play it again.
Yeah. And we got it.
But yeah, apparently not a lot of you knew that this game existed.
That doesn't shock me. And once again, Yor is the beggar. But no, I think the game overall is probably not that well known, and it isn't necessarily a bad game, but it's also not necessarily a good game. It's kind of just...
It was marketed good. Like, I saw a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things where it's like... There isn't... I don't know that there's a lot of appeal to this game for... Like, I don't know who they would be marketing towards. Like, obviously they want to market towards people who like Spy Family, but I'm saying...
And anime.
Yeah, but I'm talking about gamers in particular. Because again... The thing with video games is you can't just appeal based on the visuals. You have to appeal based on the gameplay. And who does this appeal to for gameplay? The people who like Pokemon Snap?
In trailers, we didn't see the mini games at all. I don't think. It was just all the photos. We saw photos and we saw cutscenes.
Yeah, so if we're talking... If this is being appealed as a photography game, it's like, yeah, there's some appeal for that, but like the mini games are going to be very distracting. It's like it is a photography game in a sense, but it's also just as much a here's all these mini games you have to do.
Now, for a video game that's also based on a show, so this also I would say maybe counts as a movie game.
Sure.
This is probably one of the only movie games I have seen that just has an overwhelmingly big number of mini games. Like, it's probably the biggest number I've seen in any movie game.
Yeah.
Because, say in Ice Age, Dawn of the Dinosaurs, they only had like seven mini games.
Yeah.
This has like 20.
Yeah. To be fair, I think the better way to describe this game is this is a photography game and a Namco Museum game. Because again, this is made by Namco Bandai. A good portion of these games are literally based on Namco Bandai games. So, it's basically a photography game with a Namco Bandai compilation minigame set attached onto it weirdly.
But yeah, I am glad I played this game. I'm glad that there's an actual full playthrough, walkthrough style, and we're the ones that did it first.
Yep.
At least on US servers, because I don't know about Japanese servers.
Yeah, I think that right there was probably our misplay.
Yeah, and then we tried
and then Revelation. This was also a misplay.
It might have been a misplay, but we wanted to see what it
Yeah, because we'd never done it, and we were like, what? This is how you trigger it? So it's a 4-of-a-kind trigger. I also think, actually, one thing we have to keep in mind when it comes to this game is I think playing 3 and 4-of-a-kinds is detrimental. In that, if we have 3 aces or 4 aces, we never want to play that as a 4-of-a-kind. because those are high cards that can help us win the round.
Yes, but I do remember we had a game where I freaking screwed them over.
Yes.
Because I had like 3 of a kind of something, and then I played a lot of my high cards and then ended it with 8 ender and my lowest card.
Yeah. No, yeah, we've made it work, but I think in general, if you have like a triple that's a low number, like 4 3s, 4 5s, 4 8s, or not 8s, 4 6s, something like that, those are good to play as 3 or 4 of a kind because it burns a lot of cards from you. But things like aces, 2s, kings, 3 of a kind, you never want to play those unless you are forced to, because those are the good cards you want to keep so that you win every round.
Yeah.
But again, that's why it's like there's clearly strategy in this game. I don't think it's a strategy game by any means, but it's like there's a meta to it.
Yeah, guys, we also started to skip the dialogue because we don't know what we've read anymore.
Yeah, we just ran out of dialogue to... And we're trying to get through this as quickly as possible at this point, because we're effectively done. But no, I think...
So we just assume we read pretty much everything.
I guess I can say, if you wanted to play this as a photography game, you could, because all the mini games are...
It don't matter.
All the mini games are optional.
Exactly.
You don't have to play any of them.
Nope. So if you want to just ignore them, you can.
Yeah. So, yeah, you could play this as a straight photography game, and I guess there's appeal in that.
But I do recommend some of the mini games. Poker was fine. Obviously, Pac-Man's fine.
Yeah.
I liked the Your one and somewhat the Spy one as I got to know the game. At first, I hated it.
Yeah, no, the games are very annoying at start, but they get better.
And I didn't mind the Bond games. I liked the Bond games.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's worth your time to play some of them.
Yeah.
Not all of
I mean,
them.
the one Bond game where you're riding on his back, that's basically just an endless runner. Like, it's...
The only thing that wasn't fun about it was the challenges. The challenges were a little rough for that game.
Yeah, it's a very interesting way to do mini games, where we have all these challenges we have to complete. And again, a lot of them are just not good. Like, for example, the one with the card games where it's... Oh, you must get rank 1, you must get rank 2. It's like, that can get very annoying if you're just... very unlucky, or you have that game where it's an infinite loop, but it's not winnable. Because, like, yeah, those are just complete RNG at some points.
But again, ANYA has telepathy, so if you always play as ANYA, you do.
Yeah, I don't quite
chance.
understand why you'd ever play as anyone else.
Because ANYA kind of cheats.
Yeah, I mean, if you play as somebody else, do you just not have to?
No, you don't have telepathy.
Well, but I'm saying, like, for the mini game that we had, the telepathy challenge, do you just get a different challenge, or you just win the challenge?
No, you just win it.
Because it's like you can't.
It's a free challenge.
Yeah, it's just free. So it's like, yeah, as much as we don't recommend telepathy, except in the old Maid game where we used it, I can't imagine why you'd play as literally anyone else. Even though we did for the bowling. But at least those characters had different skills.
Yeah. It looks like we're starting to wrap up.
Yeah, we're doing all the wrap up right now.
Mm-hmm. And I go through this very quickly, guys.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, because each one you only had 1 or 2 photos.
The only one I only had 1 photo, and besides the castle was the aquarium.
No, I think technically in the castle you had 3. Because...
Well, yeah, we had a bunch in the castle, but I didn't count the castle because it's the last thing that we had to do. But everywhere else...
It was 2, except for the one we fucked up.
The aquarium, yeah.
Yep. I like how it keeps showing the completion screen, even though that number is not increasing.
Yeah, no, it's not. She just writes in her diary. that
Yep.
we took 2 photos today.
Yep. I feel bad for Anya, though. She really needs to work on her penmanship. Like, her actual writing, awful. Always awful. However, photos, great.
Yeah, guys, I could have picked other options as well because a lot of the places have like 3 options for dialogue. But here's the thing, we don't remember what we chose.
Yeah, it would be... It'd be so tedious to go through this and pick every option. That's why with stuff like visual novels, there is no concept of true 100%, where you see literally every dialogue text. Because it's just so tedious. Some games are better about it, where they'll gray out, like, you have done this dialogue choice. So when you go back and replay them, you can choose every dialogue choice. But in general, it's just... That's too tedious. Nobody wants to play that.
And we did 100% this game, guys, by the way.
Yeah.
Completely 100%. Like, I even got the trophies for the PS5.
Yeah.
Because they're easy trophies. Just pretty much do everything we did, except the mini-games. You don't have to do the mini-games even for the trophies.
Yeah, the mini-games are 100% optional. Yeah.
We just chose to do it.
Well, they're not optional if you want 100% of the stuff in-game.
Yeah,
like
if you want to do
the
all
100% on
yeah.
console does not include them, but the 100% in-game does.
Because the 100% is for the story.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not even a part of that. It's completely optional.
But I'm just saying that any of like the side missions in game where it has that
Oh yes,
number,
you're right. Yes.
Counts these. So if you want that 100%, you have to do the mini games.
Yeah, we have to.
But if you just want the trophy for the game, you do not need to do any mini games at all.
Yeah, the highest trophy, you'll get it for free if you just play through the game and get all the photos.
Yep.
We just realized that we had to finish with Tycoon.
Yeah, this one's one we had to restart.
Yeah.
Because this one is a Tycoon exclusive. We have to win. But yeah, I kind of wish that the game stored up more, like you could store more Eurekas. I know why they didn't do that, because otherwise you just do the whole photography portion of the game,
like,
and then do all the minigame portion of the game.
Here's the thing, I did find a way that you can farm Eurekas. What you would do is you would pretty much skip all the days and even go to the outing, then quickly come back, and then just keep skipping school.
Yeah.
And then pretty much ignoring anything on the outing. You can farm Eurekas that way.
Yeah.
But by the end of the game, we didn't need to. Like, if you pretty much played the way we played it, you're fine. If you want to take some time to farm Eurekas, go ahead. You max out at 999. But honestly, I didn't really feel the need to farm anything in this game.
Yeah.
Even Eurekas. I could have, but I didn't, because I don't need to. I did not need to.
Yeah, that's the only time that Yuri became a beggar.
Oh, by the way, did you hear the Dragon Ball Sparking news?
Mm-mm.
So, I don't know if they've added new story yet.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe it. They added Shallot from Dragon Ball Legends in Sparking Zero.
Cool.
Like, they were doing 3 collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
They did a figure collaboration. They did the card game, which I do want to get. So I want to get the Legends cards. But they also added Shallot to Sparking Zero. That was insane.
Yeah.
I was so happy about that. I'm sure Kagi was happy about that too.
I still say that the biggest thing with oh, I think here's where we play the oh no, never mind, this is later. I think the biggest thing with Dragon Ball is that I really wish that they, as I've said many times, I really wish that they would acknowledge actual Dragon Ball more. like almost no games.
Oh yeah, sequence.
Yeah,
We
this is
wanna
the
try
sequence.
this. Yep.
Yeah, we tried the sequence here. And no one can do that. Here, I think you, for some reason, are like not wanting to start with slow cards for some reason. I don't remember why. But anyways, yeah, there are so many fights that can be done in the original Dragon Ball that are almost never done by any other games.
Like, I know I would like to see some Dragon Ball fights, and the last one I remember was in Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do it in Sparking.
Yeah, no. They referenced it because they reference, like, they talk about, like, they do the alternate path in Sparking, which I actually really like. Where, like, the characters matter. And it's like, oh, somebody remembered Dragon Ball existed and the other characters are supposed to matter. Let's have Master Roshi come and help in this fight. Let's have Krillin help in this fight. Let's have Tien help in this fight. And it's like, there we go. That's Dragon Ball right there. We found it. But there's nothing before Dragon Ball. Like, there's none of the fights against King Piccolo. There's none of the fights against Mercenary Tao, the Red Ribbon Army. Nothing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Hell, has any of the games ever had you fight a Rayleigh? Except for the one game that has literally every character in it. We will ignore that game. Has any game ever done the fight scene?
Yeah,
where
with
him and a Rayleigh fight?
That was BT3.
BT3, yeah, and that's it. There's basically one game. It's like, no one ever talks about, like, those fights. No one ever has him fight General Blue. No one ever has him fight General Red. Or the robot General Red.
General Blue was also BT3.
Exactly. It's only BT3. That's the one game that ever referenced Dragon Ball. Except for the like, couple games that are explicitly about only Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I don't know about Dragon Ball Origins.
I remember playing Origins. It does have, I don't think it has all the fights, but it is about Dragon Ball specifically. So, there's no Z content at all. But yeah, it's like, we never fight. Hey, how about the tournament arc where Goku fought Chi-Chi? Anybody remember that fight?
So Chi-Chi was a playable character in the arcade game Super Dragon Ball.
Yep.
Sorry, Super Dragon Ball Z. I need to be specific.
Yeah.
In that game, you had the chance to fight Chi-Chi in the tournament as Goku at random.
Yep.
But that's kind of the closest we got.
Yep. We never have the fight between Goku and Krillin where Krillin's trying to steal the stone in order to get food. We never see that fight ever.
It's not really a fight, though.
I mean, but like...
they could have
Dragon Ball Z is well known for turning things into fights that aren't necessarily fights in the original, but equate to a fight.
Yeah, BT3, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that kind of thing's normal. But it's like, we never see that. We never see the original tournament ever in anything. We never see the tournament fight where he fights Tien ever. Like, there are so many fights in Dragon Ball that mattered, and no one does them. And I think a game like Sparking would have been a good excuse to do that, where it can say, hey, we care about the older franchise. Because, yeah, like, can I say here, it pisses me off that I never for a second remembered that Master Roshi had the Paralyze ability, which he uses to fight Goku.
Yeah.
I've never actually heard anyone, and this might just be I don't know the Dragon Ball franchise enough, but I've never heard anyone suggest, why didn't Master Roshi use that against Raditz? Because
Well,
then they
he-
could have killed him without him moving.
Yeah,
and Goku wouldn't have needed to die.
They did that in the what if of sparking.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Before that, I'd never heard anyone even suggest that. Because no one remembers that shit. Because no one does these fights. Like, because yeah, that was a genius idea. Literally perfect idea. Why didn't the show think of that? Why didn't any other game think of that?
Sparking Zero's got some decent what if.
Yeah,
stories.
that's the thing. And
They-
it's... Oh, sorry. Yuri was bigger there, too.
They even had Gohan Black as a what if, and we didn't do that because we needed to do certain things in that game.
Yeah, again, the biggest thing, the biggest complaint that we've had with Sparking has always been that you aren't that good at fighting games, and the game requires you to be near perfect at fighting games in order for you to get through to do all the what-if content.
Well, in that case, to get Gohan Black, you had to beat Golden Frieza as Ultimate Gohan, and you just needed to upgrade Gohan at that point.
But yeah, it's like, that was our biggest complaint, was we want to show off these cool story moments,
And we couldn't.
and we're not here for the high-end combat. We're here for the cool story.
And I did get better at the game as I went on. And
Yeah,
I started learning
but-
some combos, but
And that's why I do wonder, maybe the combat stats do matter. Because like I said, hey, none of the I forgot, this is the section where literally every single person has an 8. But anyways, the thing with the RPG stats in Dragon Ball, I've said many times how they don't really matter. Maybe they do in this game. Maybe you are expected to go through and level up the character and like max out their strength and max out their HP and max out all their stats and get only the best gear possible in order to get through those fights. I don't know, maybe.
But if that's the case, that is stupid. I shouldn't need to grind that much.
Yeah.
Because in the original games, you did not need to really grind that much.
Exactly. And it's like, and I think that's the thing. Our frustration with it has been that Sparking is all about, we want to be only experts. Yeah, and here Lloyd won again. Okay, and I think here's where we stop. So, yeah. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. We'll come back next time and continue on in Spy ANYA. Until then, the future is very uncertain. What is certain is you guys are awesome, and there'll be more Two Bros Game Night tomorrow. See you then.
Goodbye.